Hi there, it's Anil Puri here from Anil Business Coaching. Today I'm going to share with you 3 tools which will help you sort out your team by making sure you've got the right people in the right seats. Stay tuned. Okay, now I've just read this fantastic book called Traction by Gino Wickman. Definitely recommend it. And he covers a whole heap of things around improving your business, and he's got a fantastic methodology to do that. But one of the things that he focuses on is getting the right people in the right seats. And he covers off 3 main tools to help you achieve that. And these are the 3 tools that I'm going to take you through. So the first is the People Analyzer. Now, the People Analyzer is all about understanding the values of your business, the values that are important to you, and how to assess which members of your team meet those values and how well they meet those values. All right, so I'm not going to go through that in too much detail. It's more just you understanding what your core values are, what's important to you in terms of behaviors in your team, and then having a method to assess them. Feel free to reach out to me if you want more information about that. He uses a very simple tool to allow you to do that. But what I want to really focus this video on is the next 2, the accountability chart and this methodology which he calls the GWC. So first of all, I'm going to rub this off and just put up the accountability chart format, and I'll take you through that. Okay, so what we have up on the board here is Gino Wickman's basic organization chart. All right, so he says there are 5 key roles, 5 key leadership roles, and then there's obviously lots of roles underneath those. So I'm just going to fill in these boxes and explain what each of these roles are and why this is more than an organization chart, and he calls it an accountability chart. All right, so the first role is the visionary role. All right, so he separates the role of the CEO or general manager from one of visionary and one of what he calls an integrator. Okay, so the visionary is one who, he has the dreams, he's got the big picture, probably not as detail focused, and focus more on what he wants to achieve longer term. Whereas the integrator is really the general manager. They're the person that takes the vision and makes sure it happens, makes sure everyone in the organization is managed well, systems are in place, and that vision is brought to life. Now, so they're key roles. Now, in a lot of family businesses that I work with, funnily enough, a lot of times, let's say it's a husband and wife team, the husband may be the visionary. He might be the one who's great at building the business, going out there, developing relationships, and has that bigger picture view. And the wife might be the integrator, more the general manager, the person who actually makes sure that the details follow, the systems are in place. Now, I don't want to be stereotypical and sexist, but that's just an example. It could be the other way around. Or there could be 2 business partners or multiple siblings in a business. But it's important to understand that those are 2 different roles. They need to work together and be on the same page, but they have different responsibilities. Then there are 3 other key functional roles. So there's a sales and marketing role, operations, and finance and admin. Now, in some businesses, you might have one person filling all of these seats, or a couple of them, or in other larger businesses, these may split. You might end up having a separate sales role, a separate sales manager, and a separate marketing manager, for example. Okay. Now, the key thing is for you to draw this up for your own business. Work out who is responsible for each of these areas. You can't have more than one person responsible for each of these functional areas. You might have the same person in multiple boxes, but you can't have more than one person in the one box, if that makes sense. And the key thing is, instead of just using this as a normal organization chart, what you need to do is write down 3 to 5 key roles and responsibilities that person has. Okay, so what are the key things that each of these people are responsible for? Okay. And so once you put that together, then you can give this accountability chart to everyone in your team, and everyone is clear who does what, but more so, what are they responsible for and what will they be kept accountable to, okay? So that's the accountability chart, right? So definitely a key thing to put in place. Now, I have an organization chart with most of my clients, but I don't have the key roles and responsibilities for each of these functional areas on that chart, okay? I might have it in a separate document, but it's all about having it in one place in a visual diagram like this. Now, the next thing that I mentioned in my intro to the video was GWC, okay? So this is especially important for these management or leadership roles, but probably flows through to the rest of the organization as well. So management roles in particular have to have these three things. The first is they need to get it. They need to understand what's required of them, what the expectations are of them as a leader, whether it's the visionary, the integrator, or any of these senior management roles. They need to get it. They need to understand how their role fits in to the outcomes and the objectives of the business. Okay, so they need to understand the importance of their role, how it all fits together, and that they really need to lift and be responsible for making their part of the business hum. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second is they need to want it. They may get it, but do they want it? They really need to want to take on that responsibility, want to start leading people, taking that responsibility of managing people and managing their function. Okay, so really there's no point them getting it but not really wanting it, okay, because they don't want to take on that responsibility. And lastly, they need to have the capacity to be able to do that role. Okay, so now he talks about 4 different types of capacity. So I'll put that down here. The first is emotional capacity. The second, intellectual capacity. The third is physical capacity. And the fourth is time capacity. Okay, so you need to have the emotional capacity. So you need to be quite level-headed, calm, be able to handle pressure, challenges that come your way, whether it's from the people or whether from other parts of the function. You need to have the intellectual capacity. There's always going to be problems and things that come to you that you need to find solutions for. So you need to be able to think about that. You need to be able to discuss things with different people, treat them in different ways, and have the intellectual capacity to do that. The physical capacity just means having the energy to fulfill the role. And lastly, the time. You need to have the time to do it. People go through different issues in their lives, different stages where they may or may not have the time. They might have personal responsibilities and commitments outside of the business. So you really need to have the time to be able to put into this role. Okay, so take that all on board. It's a fantastic way to think about how to find the right people for the right roles and the right seats. The right people are the ones that fit your values. The right seats is making sure the people you've got in these roles get it, want it, and have the capacity to do it. Okay, they need to have all of those three, otherwise they might be the right person, but they may not be in the right seat for them. Okay, they may not be the right person for that leadership role or even for any of the other roles within the business. So it's about moving them to the right seat if they're the right person. If they're not the right person, then it's about managing them, and if they don't improve, then they obviously need to leave the business. Okay, so make sure your people are in the right seats and they get it. They get the role, they want it, and they've got the capacity to do it. All right, so take it on board. Let me know if you need any help with any of that. If you've got any questions, happy to help out and to bounce around how to apply this type of thinking to your business. All the best, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.